Hi, ladies and gentlemen, you won't believe it. So I went to take my dog for a walk. And as we were moving around through the chill of this Minnesota, ooh, I'm telling you, it was awful. So I didn't plan to walk too long, just waiting for him to. But I began to think about all of the comedies about Trump and how his presidency is being ran. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this that's going on? Trump has done what no other president perhaps would even think of letting the population know that they're thinking it, because it would seem that dumb to them. And regardless of how dumb it has been for Trump, he has approached it as if it was the smartest thing on earth. And in most instances has gotten away with it. Didn't have to show his taxes. You don't know what he owned. He might own the White House. It's amazing. But I'm thinking about how people talked about Trump. And I'm thinking about how they're all falling in line. And I'm also thinking about what is going on. I'm thinking about the national response, international response that the people have on the feedback from Trump's activities. I'm thinking about all of this stuff. I'm thinking about Manafort and the scam he was running. And I'm thinking about Cohen. And I'm thinking about Giuliani. I'm thinking about all these basic lies that's been put on the public scene. And they are alive and well. And the people, you, have put your hope and your faith and your trust in some strange stuff. You remember you had it in John Kelly one time. John Kelly's gonna tie him in a knot, hold him down. John Kelly said that wasn't his job. Okay, then you put somebody else on him. You put Mattis on him. The Joker was so out of it, Mattis say, I'm out of here. But you've always had a strangled hold on what you would pray that the Mueller investigation would bring forth. That you, the public, you are that way because of what you've been fed through propaganda. You really don't know what in the world is going on. You are just being fed a bunch of garbage, and based upon what garbage can you're in, you're eating it up. Full load. And that is planned too, ladies and gentlemen. That is dividing the people of this country. I mean, major division. The stuff that people off work not getting paid and stuff like that, that's division. When Trump gets off and starts sprouting out all of your secrets all across the world for the world to hear, and nobody's shooting him down, nobody's trying to arrest him. They just sit back acting like they don't know what to do. Even talking about now that perhaps their law does not give them the authority to restrain them. And I guess if he's bold enough to stand up to it, he's gotten the court so stacked that it can become law. Now, what that actually represents is how we have digressed from where we thought we were. In essence, in reality, ladies and gentlemen, we have always thought that we were best, the best treated people, the best blessed people out of all the people on the earth. Now, we can say that perhaps about third world countries because they are going through so much hell they're trying to get here. If they only knew, well, it would probably be a little better than where they're coming from. But people from what you call industrialized nations that's on the move, they don't really come running over here any more than we run over there. So they tell their people the same thing we are told. They are the greatest people on earth. They're the most blessed people in China. The most blessed people on the face of the earth. That's the story they hear. North Korea, the most blessed people on the face of the earth. That's the story they hear. Russia. I mean, all the other places. They're the best. And that keeps us divided too, because we think that we are better than everybody else. And in order for us to be better, they got to be less than. So we already, even before we know them, we've already judged them as being less. And so how are they going to meet our standards? Well, that's the way of the world. But see, I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen, I have told you years and years ago, I came out of the devil's world. Now, I didn't do all the evils in the world, but I wouldn't try to deny that I came out of the devil's world. But I know that devil. Anything that you think they won't do is exactly what they will do. Now, you never thought that Trump would pull this scheme on you guys, did you? You never thought it. You look, and even when you saw he was going to try, you never thought he would win and get into there. You never thought that. But it's right there in your face, isn't it? I don't care how much you try to rise up and do your thing, it's right there. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, you be cautious. You put your hope in Mullen. Mullen might come out with some good stuff to make you feel good, but it might not do anything to change the condition of our society that has been created since this turmoil has been going on. Not even that. He might come out with some stuff that goes straight to the Supreme Court, and Trump and everything that's been going on is totally exonerated, and all the hell he's caused is recognized to be maintained. And you, the people, have now got to follow the law, because it would definitely become, if you got this kind of power, it will become. So I'm saying to you, don't put your hope. I mean, if Mullen can come through with some good stuff, if Mullen is on the ball and taking care of pure interest and works for you or whoever you might be, then right on. But don't put your faith, don't put your hope in it. Why not put your hope? Why don't you get some insurance? Everybody say, buy you some insurance. You got a car, buy you some insurance. You're going to die, buy you some insurance. Don't leave nobody no bills, buy you some insurance. They say that, oh, you know that, right? So I'm saying, when it comes down to life, why don't you get some insurance that got nothing to do with that? It has nothing to do with dying. It has to do with living. Why don't you trust God? You see all this, look. Boy, if you knew. See, you guys only know a little bit. Some of you got a lot of good education in various subjects, but for those of you who have knowledge about things, about history, knowledge about societies and philosophies and all these kinds of things, who have actually had a chance to visit, not just reading and studying, but spiritually had a chance to visit these places and see these places, get an understanding of these places by your connection of the Spirit of the Almighty. And all of that is able to happen because you have seen, by virtue of the Spirit, the conditions that would allow for the peace and prosperity that I so obviously speak to you about all the time, that it is constantly rejected. Well, I have to give you the message because it's true, and you reject it for all those reasons that you reject it for. But what am I saying? I'm saying that even with Cohen getting ready to come and tell you some more damaging stuff by Trump, all of these things, whatever is happening, is just driving us further and further apart, and people getting into their little camps. And this man who has been able to work all kinds of evil might be able to pull some out of his hat and really bring you down. And who knows, the military, they got their generals, and what do generals know? They know how to follow orders. What? They know how to follow orders. And who order they follow? Well, that speaks for itself. So I'm saying there can be some catastrophic things coming out of here. What you think is happening doesn't necessarily have to be what is truly happening. It might be some stuff that's happening right now that you wouldn't even imagine. So since you wouldn't even imagine it, I want to ask you for just one moment to imagine it. To imagine that there has been a coup set up to take over America and reduce America to some old communistic, look, Trump said, and I'm going to get ready to get off this subject because what I wanted to tell you, I don't think you're going to get, that he can kill you and walk down the street and actually get away with it. That's what he's saying. And so, with that kind of attitude, the people who are telling jokes, in order to be telling those jokes and getting away with it, nobody, that's because it's playing into a part. It's playing a part. And when I think about Trump, I think about the mob. I think about gangbangers. I think about the words, the terminologies that educated, intelligent people use, and I think about those used by the street gang. What you want to call, some people call them low-lifers. I didn't call you that. That's what some people call you. You know, the old street lingo. And he just running that stuff down. And I started thinking, that's what brought me to that evil thing. I started thinking about Putin and those guys. Well, you know they'll do anything. And everybody will do anything. You know when I think about people that would do anything, and you can say all you want to say. But I heard somewhere it was said that there was one country, I don't know that country, that dropped an atomic bomb on another country. A couple of them. I heard it did some devastating damages. Ooh-wee. Can you imagine a human being or a group of human beings doing something like that to another group of human beings? And it's all over some basic essentials of life. Food and clothing and shelter and education and health care and freedom from fear of this or that. Peace and prosperity. That's what everybody on the face of the earth wants. And they can't see getting it any other way unless they take it. Go to Africa and rob it. Go wherever you can find anything that can be used to make money and rob it. Kill anything that get in this way. Ain't that something? And God says, I gave it to all of you. And what is happening, all of you are responsible. Those who decide to beat head and take it, they are responsible. And everybody who decides to say, well, it's better to be here than not, so you take it. If you only knew, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to tell you, they say that the Bible say that when you die, you're going to live again. I'm not going to say that to you, because that just would be passing on some I heard, some I read, and some I believe. I just don't really want to, if I don't know what I'm talking about, I think I'm just going to leave that alone. But what I do know is this. They say that some power somewhere loves your soul. But they also say that power somewhere gave you life. Is giving you life and soul in it separate? Well, even if they are, they got their place and they got their responsibility. In life, you have to live. But the power that put you here, look at me, still talking. How much time is it? 13 minutes. The life that put you here prepared for you all of what you might ever dream of, because your dreams are from the Spirit of God. They really are. Unless you get influenced by some self, that whatever that other stuff is. But it's all. And somebody come up and just tell you, this is mine. And you say, no, this us. This us is. They said, no, it's mine. So some guy might say, oh, well, brother, there's going to be a battle going on right here if you try to take it that way. And perhaps there's a battle and maybe one of you get it, or maybe you come to a conclusion that it's better to just split it or share. I don't know. But I tell you one thing, if you need water, I don't think you're going to get it if you expect him to give it to you, and he won't. So there's some activity that has got to take place. Anyway, if the mob does what you have been seeing on TV and what you might have read that the mob does wherever parts of the world that the mob come from, you understand that the mob still individuals just like you and I. And they want the same things as you and I. But like gangs and mobsters and cities and states and governments, they recognize that they have a desire just like all of the other entities. And they are dealt in a system that would not allow them to engage themselves as they would love to, as we all would. And so they decide not to hold on to some thought or they just decide they're going to get their way. They're going to, if they have to whoop you side the head to abuse you, they say governments do it. And they say you're going to have to pay and scare the heck out of you. And you pay. They say that's what the governments do. But they're taking a chance. They get busted. The law is designed in many instances to straighten them out. So they get a chance to go in and do their time, but they're willing to make that sacrifice for the little bit of life they were able to share in while they had their own freedom. They can't keep from being locked up. If they could, they would now. They'd dig a tunnel to hell if they can get away. Can't do that. You get down there deep enough, but they ain't gonna go far enough. And so what I'm basically saying is that if everybody is so interested, everybody is so concerned about actually receiving this life, this kind of life that we all have, that's so common amongst us, and everything else has failed, the people of the world, I'm not talking to your leadership. Your leadership, we know who they are. They are complete sellouts, and they are being rewarded for their selling out. But they are not alone. They're selling out to secret societies, but they got a lot of power in you, because you have said it's okay in your blindness. This is not a put down, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a put down. If I walked over to you and say parlez-vous français, many of you would know what to say. Many of you wouldn't. So if I say parlez-vous français and you don't know what I'm talking about, I just wasted my time. So if you have not been told and had the audacity to and concern to find out about what's happening, then you don't know. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that. And so while you don't know, that's what I used to tell I got my kids to read. I told them, I said, look, grown folk got a lot of secrets, and they write them down. They write them down so people who don't know the code don't know what they're talking about. So you can trick them if you want to. You can learn the codes. And when they don't know that you know the code, you can be knowing what they're talking about without them knowing what you're talking about. And the kids will get interested, and next thing you know, they can read. They want to know the code. So what I'm trying to say to the people, the Chinese people who I tell you, your dream is not being realized. Somebody else might be saying all kinds of things about how fantastic you people are, but you know your dreams are not being realized. And those of you who are in India, yeah, there's a lot of good things going on there, but there are millions of you who are suffering, and you want your dreams to change, and you don't ever see them happening in your lifetime, not even in your children's lifetime. You really want to have. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to your leadership. I'm talking to you. Those of you in Africa, oh man, in various places. I know you got wonderful things happening in Africa, but there's a lot of pain. And you got the same dreams and aspirations as all of us, as I do. You got them. I know good and well you got them. I know you got them because I got them. And you want them. I'm talking to you. Those of you in Central America and South America, those of you who are going through the same kind of pains that I've been identifying here. You want your dreams to come true. You want to live. You want to wake up in the morning time not worried about a thing. Because the day is a day that God has given and you're not playing. I mean, you're so excited because what you're going to do today, ooh, you're so glad you're up so you can get busy. And the day is a full day. You already know it because every day is just like this. How many of you want to know that? How many of you want to know that? You don't have to worry about your kids. You don't have to worry about school. You don't have to worry about, and you dentists, you are very needed. Because so many people lost their teeth, and they be asking God sometimes why he didn't give them a third set. Didn't give them a third set. But that compassionate God who did give us two, gave some knowledge to some fantastic, wonderful people that gave them the wherewithal to take your mouth and prop it open and take all that ragged stuff out of there and have you coming out with the most wonderful, beautiful smile you could ever imagine. That's from God. I'm trying to tell you something. Those of you who got all those handicaps, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who you're talking about God about, but I want to tell you something. If you want your dreams to come true, you're going to have to change your mind. Some people call it being born again. You're going to have to change your mind. You're going to have to, I know the things that got you seeing things the way you do is the condition that your mind has been put in. To be so judgmental, to be so divisive, to be all the stuff that they wanted you to have. The hatred, the bigotry, the racism and stuff, it was planted in you. And you know the effects of it. We see it across the board. But if you want to have that dream, if you want to get out of this junk, you got to change your mind. And how do you think it's a deep, heavy thing? It's not a deep, heavy thing. It's not that complicated. It's not complicated at all. It's so simple as a crying shame. Check this out. All you have to do is see other people as you see yourself. And I'm not talking about that crazy stuff, just looking at somebody trying to see yourself. I'm talking about serious business. Serious business, ladies and gentlemen. Serious. See yourself in other people. If they're experiencing joy and happiness, see yourself experiencing and enjoying that same happiness with them. If they're in pain, if they are suffering, see yourself in pain and suffering with them, with all of your different understanding, with all of your different imagination. Use it to come over some way to fix the situation that you're in because they're in. Come on, people. Come on now. Well, that's the kind of God I'm talking about. Listen, you got work to do. Sitting up in a building listening to a story saying a song ain't pleasing to God. I mean, it might be pleasing to whoever you're serving, but it sure ain't pleasing to God. You got to get busy. Take care of the business. Clean the garden. Get the weeds out. Somebody say, well, let them grow together. Well, it's time. Yeah, grow together till they wake up. When they wake up, then clean that mess up out of there. Stand up. Stand up. You know what I'm talking about. Now, I think I have said some good stuff. Now, having changed your mind, been born again, you're going to start seeing the world for what it is, because what you have been looking for, you're going to start seeing that based upon the degree of your escaping from this darkness is going to be met with the same degree of enlightenment. That enlightenment got power too. It's going to do some magnificent things. All of a sudden you're going to start seeing clearer quick. And once you start seeing clear, then you're going to have to get busy. You know, because they do say that faith without works is dead. So, and I'm sure you will get busy because you're serious. You weren't playing no games. When you decided that you were going to see things different, when you decided that you were going to make that decision, you were serious. And now what we're going to do is that it is God's stuff and everything belongs to us. The only power that these other people got is the power that we've given them. It's our submission to what they have said. It's our submission to what they have designed for us to do. We've been trained to do it and we've submitted to it. But no man can serve two masters. You just being divorced from that old master of the world in the way that they're doing that thing. And now the new master is God. And God said, hallelujah, we are family. And all things belong to us, and all of us engage our hands in the process. By so doing, we become part owners. Lord have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so wonderful, so easy, so simple to me. I'm not going to even tell you anymore. I'm going to stop right here. How many minutes? 24 minutes? Golly. Look, check out some of my other videos. I got something called 2020 Presidential Campaign. I got some specific stuff I want to say. No, I'm not running for office. You just listen to it, okay? Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying bye-bye.